Never trip about a clone, cause they know what's a sheep to a goat. Yeah. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise they ain't make a dent. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes-Benz.
So we've spoken about your early life, taking it onto social media, Tilt. But let's talk about now, how your business now is sponsoring and putting money back into the community. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think a huge, almost a dream come true move was being able to sponsor the local men's professional team, the Sheffield Sharks. Having grown up watching professional men's basketball in the UK, to think that the sponsor boards that have my logo on is incredible, and that was a real gauge of the journey. So I'm ever so grateful. But giving back to the game has always been on my radar, and I'll always do that. However, I can afford to, in that sense, because the game that gave me so much as a teen.
Yeah.
I was that kid once, that playing the game, and if I could help in any way, I will. And yeah, so the Shark sponsorship is just fantastic. It's opened doors. It's just been fantastic to work with a great club, and also been able to I've been able to host pop-up shops at the Cannon, which has been so fantastic.
So tell us about a pop-up shop. For those that don't know what that is, what is a pop-up shop?
So a pop-up shop basically is I bring my stock from home. I'll bring my stock through to a pop-up shop. It is literally a pop-up shop. So rails go up, I have some merchandise out, got banner, various like branding, and then you can come down, pay cash card, got contactless, and you can come and take, rummage through 150 plus jerseys on a game day.
So it's great to showcase to basketball fans, maybe over 1,500 fans at the arena. You get to showcase your business.
Oh, it's great.
To them.
Yeah, it's really great. And also you get it, like as we talked about before, community, you get to talk basketball too.
Yeah.
People will be like, goodness me, I haven't seen this in 25 years.
Yeah.
Where did you get this from? Or they'll be like, oh, fantastic,
And then that's where your knowledge of the game really comes into it.
Well, I can chew their ears off for hours about random NBA players from the 90s.
But that must be so good, because then you become their go-to.
Well, I'd like to think, by being honest and trustworthy and providing a good product, that's the kind of business that I want to buy off, and I do buy off, in my life. So if I can trust somebody who's, for whatever it may be, especially in independent, I do try and support independence, because I feel like we're in a world where, there's a lot of larger companies that are kind of taking away independence by selling many products. So if I can support an independent, and people, they seem to, they buy into what I'm trying to do, and I try and, like I said, try and be genuine and honest and give a good product.
So obviously you sponsor the Sharks.
Yeah.
You get to sit courtside, you get to do your pop-ups,
which
is fantastic.
I get some sort of stick about that.
But you've also gone one step further as well, because now you sponsor a player as well.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. So I was fortunate to sponsor the jersey of Donovan Clay this season. It's been a revelation for the Sharks. Coming in his rookie season, and to see, he's been one of the best bigs in the league, one of the best bigs in British basketball, and to have my jersey, my logo on the back of his jersey. Again, another moment where you just literally like, what is going on, and it just, I think I probably wouldn't have believed where I was at if I'd have told myself starting out with one Instagram post 4 years ago and 6 jerseys. But no, it's obviously a great feeling, and it's very humbling, and I think it's important to be humble. I still think, goodness, this is crazy, but we're not done yet. There's more to go, and also like the grassroots is super important. Like I said before, we're being a youngster playing, so like I sponsored the Dream Chasers program last season, and just into this season as well, and that's been great.
There's former Sharks players involved with that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, Manchester Basketball, Nick Lewis, he's a coach there.
Yeah.
Eddie Brownhill, former Shark, both former Sharks actually, and they do wonders in the community with coaching and bringing through multiple age groups, and they're kitted out right. They get them all the good training gear, tracks. So it's really good to be associated with. They're doing great grassroots onward work. Really.
So I mean, at the buzzer, starting from just a little seed to growing to a full-on company, to sponsoring teams, to sponsoring players, to helping grassroots, you must be so proud.
Do you know what? It's literally just sat here thinking about what you're saying, and I'm like, you don't really
until someone says it to you and it's out there.
You're just kind of rails, boom, boom, boom. What's next? What's next? What's next? What do we need? I feel like there's 101 things I could be doing all the time, but I suppose when you put it like that, I am proud.
Of course.
But I'm nowhere near done. We're just getting started.
Well, I think that leads me into my next question.
Okay.
Where are we going next? So I've just mentioned where you're at now and what you're doing.
Yeah.
For yourself, what are your future goals?
I think it's I wouldn't say I'm the most when I set a target, they are quite broad. Like my target is growth,
Yeah.
but sustained growth, and just to keep bringing more and more and more quality to people, and keep, you know, at affordable pricing, so people aren't, you know, they're not spending £100 on essentially a sleeveless top. You know, I try and keep my price well under retail. The dream, if there was one, would be a physical store.
Mm-hmm.
That I've always visualized, like a hub of basketball where you can come and get your vintage, you can come and get your modern, you know, there'll be collaborations.
Where
in
do
there.
you see that? Do you see it in Sheffield? Do you see it?
Ideally, I'd be in Sheffield, but I feel like due to, you know, I'm 20 years I've lived in Sheffield. You know, I see myself. It's my city, and I feel like, unfortunately, with Meadow Hall being right on the doorstep, for an independent, unless it was a shared space, it'd be very difficult to get to Meadow Hall. Almost impossible, which you never. Nothing's impossible.
No.
Kevin Garnett said that, and anything's possible. And so to be in like an independent space in Sheffield, you know, you see it in other cities, and like Sheffield is fiercely independent. It should. What I feel like, Sheffield's like a town city to me. You know, it's full of creative people, alternative thinking people, good people. Like the people of South Yorkshire are fantastic, and we need to lean into our independence more. So to have an independent store in Sheff would be fantastic, but who knows, a mobile shop?
Yeah.
Like that, you know, where the pop-ups are mobile.
But listen, you've had all these dreams. You said to be sponsoring a player, wow, it's unbelievable. In 5 years' time, it's a realistic dream as well. I think what you're saying, it's 100% realistic. So what advice could you give to someone maybe starting out self-employed, and not even in this business, but being self-employed, which you are, it's a risk, like we've said, we take risks. But what advice would you give to them?
Just think you've just got to believe in yourself. You know, you're gonna hit roadblocks, you're gonna hit challenges, you're gonna get people, you know, pulling you down, and you know, even people who you thought were your friends might be taking the mick. You've got to block out the noise and just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And if you can speak to the people that can give you a true read on things, but also support you. They're the people you need around. That's your circle. That's the first thing. Get your circle right. Your circle's got to be right.
Definitely.
That's a triangle. Your circle's got to be right. You know, that will give you the power, the strength, and the mentality to continue. And just it's not BS. It's believe. You've got to believe in yourself. And trust yourself. And trust your gut too. Sometimes, you know, that you've just got to go. Sometimes, and action. It's all. You've got to act. Action is. You can talk all day, but you've got to you know, make it happen.
100%. Fantastic advice.
Make it happen.
Fantastic advice, and I hope they follow that. So, final thoughts then. How can fans out there reach out to you? Where can they contact you? Tell us about your website, what it's called, tell your Instagram page, your tilt, everything. Where can we find you, Tom?
Well, if you like basketball and you're interested in, you know, even just being part of the basketball conversation, our strongest presence is on Instagram, which is @TheBuzzerUK, all one word.
We'll have something there.
And that's linked to Facebook as well.
Yeah.
We have a presence on TikTok as well, which is @TheBuzzerUK, all one word. And we're on X, formerly Twitter, @TheBuzzer_UK. And that's kind of where I promote the various stock drops that are coming and information, you know, regards things are going on, etc., new products, and we do a stock preview weekly on there. The website is www.thebuzzeruk.co.uk. That's where you'll find all our stock. On the Tilt app, we are @TheBuzzerUK, where you join the Tilt app, search @TheBuzzerUK and drop us a follow. And then you will, on our socials, you will also see where we are hosting pop-up shops in future, and we are probably at least travelling the UK once a month, hopefully more. We've done universities, we link with the Crep City events, so they cover most major cities in the UK, which is really, really good to get around as well. That's been a nice store opener, so you can find us there too.
Amazing. So anywhere we look, @TheBuzzerUK, you're going to be there. Yeah? I love that. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a great chat. It's been great to get to know Tom even more, find out about his younger days, how sport influenced him and is still influencing him right now, because sport really can make that difference. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you soon.